Good day po, Doc, and good day din po sa aking mga classmates. For this presentation, I will be analyzing and observing the different educational learning theories that are presented in a Filipino language class, which is conducted in an online platform through Google Meeting. And this is a recorded lecture from a co-teacher of mine teaching Filipino in Laguna State Polytechnic University, in which I am currently working at. So he is my co-teacher, and of course I ask permission for him to allow me to use his video for this presentation. And I will act as the observer and point out in which parts of his class the learning theories are being evident.
So, next question ko ay dahil ba sa mga dahil ba sa pagkakaroon ng variety ay nagiging malikhain pa rin ba yung ating wika? Yes, Flores.
At the start of
Sir, opo.
his
Dahil
lesson,
po sa
the teacher,
pagkakaiba-iba
of
po
course,
ng
introduces the
nagkakaroon
topic
pa po ng
and
pag-unlad ng mga
then
variety ng
calls
wika.
on
Halimbawa po,
some
yung
students
gamit po
who would
ng
share insights
gay
and
lingo po,
their
yung
also
gamit po
opinion
nila na
of
adapt po
what they
nila yan
think
sa
are
Tagalog na wika.
the
Halimbawa
keywords
po,
on
yung mga
screen are
chorba
about,
at
what is
chuchu,
the
ganun po
lesson
yung
for
na-adapt po
this
nila
meeting
kaya
is
po
about
nagkakaroon ng
before the
variety ng
discussion
wika.
of the lesson
Okay,
itself.
tama rin yun sapagkat kahit
And
na halimbawa ako for example,
this
hindi ako
solicitation of
kabahagi doon
insights
sa
from the
grupo na kung saan
students
ginagamit
prior
yung
to
Beke
the
language or
discussion of the
Filipino.
lesson
So, pero
is
dahil na rin sa
somehow
pagkakaroon ng
expressing
dahil na rin sa
or
naa-adapt
implying
o di naman kaya ay dahil
cognitivism,
sa dimensyong sosyal,
which
ang naririnig ko and then
um,
at the same time
states
ay may mga
that the
pagkakataon, may mga
students
terms
already
talaga na
have
nagagamit yung
cognitive
mga ilang words kahit
constructs or
kahit
information
hindi kakabilang
systems in
sa
their
komunidad na meron
brain,
sa
and
kanila. So nagiging
they
malikhain dahil
learn
sa
by
patuloy yung
processing new
pag-unlad and
information
then patuloy yung pag-usbong and then sabihin na nating creative
and use the
malikhain
cognitive structures
malikhain pagdating dun sa
to
kung paano nga ba
process
ginagamit yung
this
mga
information,
salita na yon.
this new
So ayan,
information.
marami tayong mga variety ng wika na kung saan i-discuss natin pero I think yung iba naman dito ay familiar na kayo. Narinig na ba yung dialect, sociolect, idiolect? Meron ba kayong background regarding doon?
As you have seen on screen in the video,
Kung
after
may
the student
background, gamitin ang raise hand
finished
feature.
sharing his or her
Dialect,
insights, the teacher
sociolect,
proceeded
idiolect, ayan,
to
meron. Sige,
explaining
pwede na
or
pong
elaborating
i-lower
the
yung
student's
inyong
answer
pag-raise hand.
and
Okay, so
to
let's start.
saying that the student's insight and opinion is
Okay,
related to the
I think most of you naman ay taga
topic that
Laguna.
they will
Pero
be
meron ba ditong
discussing,
taga
and
Quezon,
he also added
Quezon Province?
uh,
Ayan, meron.
information
So, I think yung
on
ilang
the
brothers dito
elaboration
ay
of the student's
um,
answers.
hindi kayo galing sa Pachaong or basta anyway, never mind. Sige, at least merong pagkakaiba-iba sa mga lugar. Okay, sige. So, may nakikita ba yung picture na dito sa ating presentation?
Yes, po.
Yes po, sir.
Okay. Sige, ano ang tawag dito? Anong tawag dito sa nakikita niyong picture? Albay.
Mantika po o langis.
Okay. So, ayun, meron pa bang ibang katawagan sa mantika or langis dito? Kung meron, gamitin ang raise hand feature. Okay, wala na siguro. Okay, Albay, ano yung taga Laguna ka, tama?
Opo, pero po ang province po namin ay sa Batangas at Mindoro po.
Okay, ano yung pinakamadalas na gamitin mo, langis o mantika?
Langis po.
Okay. So, ayan, makikita yung difference. Ikaw, ay parehas tayong Batangas eh. So, yung iba, sa Laguna, ano ang mas ginagamit nyo? Langis or mantika?
Langis po.
Langis. Ayan. So, ayun.
Another good
Dahil
thing
sa,
from
sige, mami ako
the
na-explain. So,
teacher's
sa amin,
discussion
mantika, sa iba
or
naman ay Langis.
uh,
Okay, next picture natin
conversation
ay
with the
ito.
students prior to the discussion is that the
Okay, ano
teacher
ang tawag
does
dyan?
not only
Lunggakit.
call one student to share his or her insight about the lesson that they will be discussing based on the presented keywords on screen. The teacher also
Okay, so ayun, nakita yung
solicited
difference ulit. Ano,
other students'
tumbalan? Tama bang
insights
pagkakaintindi ko?
to provide more
Tubalan.
backgrounding
Madumi.
per se for
Okay.
all of the
So, ayun,
students in the
tubalan. Sa
meeting
Laguna
before
nga,
they
ayun nga,
proceed to
dahil
the
sa,
actual
doon ako nag-aaral
discussion.
ng college, so naririnig ko na libagin ang tawag dito sa dyan. Pero ang tawag sa amin pagdating sa Batangas ay labahin. So, may labahin, may tubalan, at merong libagin. So, ayun, nakikita natin yung difference. So, next one and last picture ay ito. Ano ang tawag dyan ng mga taga Laguna? Okay, marumihan, tama rin yun. So, Sanchez.
Dalandan po, sir.
Okay, dalandan. Ano pa ang ibang katawagan dito? Langkuyan. Langkuyan. Cedric.
Naglalag daw po, sir.
Hmm?
Naglalag po.
After the introductory question and
Okay.
answer
Naiintindihan
portion,
pa rin ba ako
or
ng
after
lahat?
the soliciting of
Opo, sir.
insights prior
Ayan.
to the
Anong tawag dito
discussion
sa
from the
picture na to?
students, the teacher proceeds to presenting several images on screen, and then the teacher
Okay, sige.
asks the
Tatawag.
students to identify what
Okay,
the
sige.
picture is called
Let's call
based
Andaya.
on their Tagalog dialect
Okay,
or
may dalang hita.
language variation
Okay.
of the Filipino language,
Salazar.
considering the place that the students came
Daranghita,
from,
sir.
or what
Dalang hita
province
rin.
they're
Darang po.
from,
Darang.
what city they're
Darang.
from,
Opo.
Okay.
because this
Meron
is
pa bang ibang
connected
Lopez?
to their topic, which is
Sintores po,
variety
sir.
ng
Tentores.
wika.
De Torres.
Sintunis din po, sir.
Sintunes or Sintures?
Sintunis.
Okay. So ayun, nakikita natin yung difference. May dalang hita, may dalandan, may darang, merong Sintures sa R, and then Sintunes as in. Sa Batangas ang tawag sa amin dito ay Sintunes. So para sa part na to, makikita natin yung difference na tinatawag nating dialect. So pagdating sa dialect, ito yung wikang ginagamit sa isang particular na rehiyon, lalawigan or pook, maliit man or malaki. So tsaka nababago yung presentation. Anyway, so yun. Pagdating sa Region 4, yung ginagamit natin na nakatutubong wika, native language natin pagdating sa Katagalugan. Kapag ikaw ay pinanganak at lumaki sa Region 4 area, so ginagamit ang Tagalog sa province ng Batangas, Quezon, Cavite, Laguna, Rizal, and then Manila. So diyan totally talaga ginagamit ng ganap at buo ang katutubong wika na Tagalog, pero dahil sa dialect nagkakaroon tayo ng magkakaibang kumbaga variety ng wika. So mayroong Tagalog Batangas, mayroong Tagalog Quezon Province, mayroong Tagalog Cavite, mayroong Tagalog Laguna. Pero lahat tayo ang ginagamit natin ay Tagalog. From the example before, yung marumihan, ang tawag ng iba ay tubalan, yung iba naman ay libagin, yung iba naman ay labahin. Pero isa lang yung ating tinutukoy na bagay. Pagdating dun sa ang prutas yung kanina, may dalandan, may dalanghita, may sintures, may sintunes, pero isa lang yung ating tinutukoy na ang prutas. Dahil ito sa pagkakaiba-iba ng lugar, dahil ito sa pagkakaiba-iba dahil ito doon sa tinatawag natin na dialect.
As we have seen
So
from
naintindihan ba yung
the
konteksto ng dialect?
introductory activity
Opo.
where the teacher
Yes po, sir.
asks
Okay.
the
So ayun,
students
kahit
to
na Tagalog tayong
identify
lahat, may
what
times talaga na
is the
nagkakaiba
term
yung
used
ating
to call
lengguwahe. Pero
some
syempre, mas
pictures
malaki yung
on the screen
pagkakaiba ng
which were
Tagalog pagdating sa
and
Bicol, pagdating sa Waray.
this
So ayun,
is
next
an
natin
evidence
ay
of
ayan,
constructivism
sociolek. So dito sa
and
sociolek
also
ay nakabase ito sa
socio-cultural
pangkatlipunan
learning
o ano
theory,
yung pangkat or
because
grupo na
as to
kinabibilangan. So pagdating
constructivism,
sa Bekemon,
the
yan talagang ganap at
aspects
buo na
of
gumagamit ng
that
Bekemon.
part
Syempre,
of the
kasi yun yung
lesson
kabilang dun sa komunidad na meron sa
that
kanila. I
presents
still remember na tinanong
constructivism,
ko yung isang
concepts
estudyante ko
or
na
notions
part ng LGBT
is
yan, bakit hindi
that
gumagamit
the
ng
teacher
ano
asks the
ng
students to
Becky language. Yung as
um,
in, yung pure talaga na kapag sila yung
identify the
magkakasama.
term
And then,
used to call the
frankly na
pictures
sinabi niya,
presented on
may
screen
times kasi na
based on their
dahil sila
prior
lang yung
knowledge or the
magkakaintindihan, may time na parang
information that they
napag-uusapan nila yung isang
already
tao na
know.
hindi alam ng isang tao na
And
siya na pala
this
yung
is
mismong
prior to the
pinag-uusapan kasi
direct or the main
iba yung
discussion
language yan
of
and hindi ka
the
parte
main
ng komunidad
lessons.
na yun.
And the
Hindi ka parte ng
teacher
komunidad
used
doon
this
kung kaya hindi
opportunity to
totally
solicit
naiintindihan
answers,
yung buong
solicit
salita
prior
na kanilang
knowledge, to
ginagamit.
solicit
So,
schema
ayun, dahil sa hindi
from
ka
the students
kabilang sa
so that
lipo
they
nyo na
would
yun,
build
maaaring hindi mo
connection,
naiintindihan
interest,
yung
and
mismong
be motivated
pinag-uusapan.
also
And then yung
in
Jejemon, ayun, hindi
the
na rin siya ganun.
upcoming
Siguro sa mga
discussion.
millennial, sa mga
And it is
magulang natin, nagagamit
also
pa rin yung Jejemon na ito ay dahil sa dala ng
presenting
teknolohiya. And
sociocultural
then,
learning
balbali yung
because the
napaka
teacher considered
di
and
formal na
also
paggamit
asked the
ng wika.
students
Kumbaga ay
themselves
ito
from
yung
what province they're
ginagamit
from,
sa
from
kalye. Ito yung mga
what
salita
kind of
na
variation
maririnig
or
madalas sa
dialect of
kalye. And then
language
vulgar
of
yung mga
Tagalog
bastos o
or
yung mga
other
malalaswang
Filipino dialect
um,
they have
mga
in their
salita. So,
province,
nagkakaroon
and
ng pagkakaiba-iba.
in
Depende
connection
sa
to
pangkat ng
this, what
lipunan
are
na
the different
ginagamit. So,
terminologies
ayun
or
yung
words that they
mundo ng
know
sociolek. And
to
then, may iba pang
identify
paggamit ng sociolek.
the
Dito ay
pictures
meron
which
tayong tinatawag
were
na jargon,
presented
which
on
is,
screen. And
kumbaga ay ibang
this
rehistro. Ito naman yung rehistro na
part of the activity
occupational o depende doon
presented
sa pinag-aralan or
sociocultural
sa natapos or
learning
yung
theory
sa field ng
notions
trabaho na kanyang
that
ginagawa.
students
So, ang
learn
jargon ay mga
particular
tanging bokabularyo
concepts
ng isang
in the
partikular na
context
pangkat ng
of the culture
gawain. So, ayun,
of
may
either the
mga
students,
salita
the
na kung
teacher,
saan
or the
ay kapag
lesson
narinig
topic
natin itong
or the
mga
subject
terms na
matter,
to, ay
and
masasabi agad
also
natin na, ito ay sa field
by
ng accountancy, ito ay sa
featuring
field
community
ng politics, ito
relation
naman ay
of the
patungkol
lesson,
sa
and also
computer. So,
by
kapag narinig natin yung mga term na yun, merong
imposing
nagre-register na
socialization
kung saan,
among the
itong
students and
salita na
also
to ay
among
ginagamit sa isang
between the
particular
teacher and
na
the
pangkat ng
students.
gawain. Pero, may mga pagkakataon na, for example, ito, yung mouse. Yung mouse ay, pwede siyang kumbaga ma-incorporate natin sa discipline or sa gawain ng computer. And then, pwede rin sa zoology. Yung stress, pwede sa language, pero pagdating naman sa iba pang discipline, ang stress ay pumapatungkol sa psychology. And then yung operation, so 'di ba yung operation pwedeng sa mathematics, pwede sa medicine yung nagkakaroon ng pag-oopera sa bahagi ng isang tao, sa bahagi ng katawan ng
Also,
isang
in the
tao. And
discussion
then
of
operation
some
pagdating
parts
sa
of the
military, ibig
lesson,
sabihin halimbawa, meron
for
silang
example,
pupuntahan na
here
isang
for
lugar. So,
jargons,
ayun,
for the discussion
mga
of
bokabularyo
jargons,
na kung
the
saan ay
teacher
ginagamit
used
sa isang
example
particular
words
na
that
grupo o
are
pangkat
common
or pangkat ng
or
gawain.
that are
So, ayun,
familiar to the
naintindihan ang
students.
sociolek?
Opo, sir.
And of
Sige.
course, according to the
Ganito ang
constructivist
gagawin. So, may
approach,
napaparinig
this
ako,
would help the students
may
build
paparinig
connection
akong mga
to the
boses
lesson as
na
they
ginawa
process
ng
the new
isang
information
impersonator and
and
then tukuyin
form
nyo kung sino yung tinutukoy dun
interconnections of this
um,
information
sa
together with the
tinutukoy
information
yung
that they
salita.
already know
Paano ba?
in the
Kung
past,
sino
therefore
yung, kung
forming
kaninong
new
boses yung
knowledge, new
ginagamit.
pieces of
Nagets?
information, which is essential
And
for
then, ang
Opo.
learning.
sasabihin kung itatype na lang dito sa ating chat box kung sino yung tinutukoy dun sa salita na yon. Okay, so let's start.
Maraming salamat.
Hindi pa yan.
Mabuhay po kayo, mga anak. Maraming salamat po mga kapuso, mga kapuso. Sama-sama po tayo sa pagtutok ng mga balitang ito na ating tinututukan. Sa loob po naman ng 24 oras, walang kinikilingan, walang pinoprotektahan, perwisyong totoo lamang. Excuse me po.
Okay, ayan. So, karamihan ang nakalagay dito ay Mike Enriquez. Okay, sige. Next na gagayahin ay
Mga balita nagbapasok.
hindi pa yan. Wait lang. Okay, ito. Sunod.
Pasok. Magandang gabi, kapamilya. Narito ang pagsisiyasa ng mga dokumentado simentado,
For the next
tarantadong
part of the
pagbabalita,
lesson, the
batay
teacher asked the
siyasa sa
students
mga
to
naganap na krimen,
listen to audio clips
asin ng
of
crime
Ayan.
operativo.
famous
So,
people
ayan,
in
karamihan
terms of their
din
voice,
ang
of their
kasagot
speaking
ay
voice,
gas abel gas.
and
So, at
to
para sa ating
identify
next
or
subtopic,
to allow this or challenge the students to identify if
hello, naririnig na
who
ba ako dito sa
is
device
the
na to?
personality or celebrity speaking
Papa, sir.
Ayan.
from the audio
Ayan
clips
po.
that they
Going
are
back,
going to
Wait
listen
lang.
to.
ayan, so, host ng sofa.
And because they are discussing
Ayan.
variations of
So,
language
ayan,
or
next nating
dialects which
i-discuss
include
ay
accents
idiolects.
or
So, yung
punto,
pagdating naman sa idiolects, ito yung
the
wikain na
students
personal
are
sa isang
very
speaker.
much
So, for
motivated
example,
to
Michael
listen to
Herices, Gas
these audio
Abelgas, Nori de
clips because
Castro,
they are
and Ted
interested
Filon.
in
So,
the
ang
varying
pagdating sa
accents or
idiolect na tinatawag natin or
dialects
pinag-uusapan natin
of the
dito, meron
speakers
silang
who are
personal na
who are fellow Filipinos as well.
kumbaga ay distinct na voice. Kumbaga ay pag narinig natin to na nagsalita, ibig sabihin nagre-register agad sa ating isip na ito yung tao na yon. So kahit na from the example before, kahit na impersonator lang yung gumagawa nun, nagagawa niyo pa rin ma-distinguish kung sino nga kung sino yung tinutukoy or ginagaya doon sa voice na yon. So ibig sabihin, ito ay personal, kumbaga ay naririnig sa isang individual yung mismong pagsasalita na to. So, okay, so next is
After discussing
pidgin. So
idiolect,
pidgin
the
ay ito yung tinatawag na
teacher
nobody's
and the
native
students
language.
proceed to
So
discussing
nagkakaroon ito ng kapag ang
pidgin,
dalawang taal o yung
and
isang tagapagsalita ay nanggaling or meron
in
siyang
this part
dalawang
of the
magkaibang
lesson,
wika na
the
walang common
teacher
wika, ay nagkataon
called
magkaroon ng
some
konbersasyong
students
makeshift.
to
So,
demonstrate the
sino ang
accent
pwede mag-example
or
kung
yung
paano
punto
magsalita
ng
paano
dialekto
magsalita
that
ang mga
the
inchik sa
teacher
Binondo
provided
na
for the
mga
student to
nakatira dito sa
demonstrate.
Pilipinas.
And
Huy, naririnig niyo pa ba ako?
some students
Kayo ba
volunteered to
naririnig pa?
answer, and they have demonstrated how
Ayun. Lopez.
the variation of
Sir, sa
language
wikang
asked
Pilipino
of
po,
them is produced based on their
Um,
previous knowledge or based from
sige.
their schema of what they have heard before in
kayo
the
bili
society
dito.
that they
Pampaswerte,
are
lagay sa
part
pinto
of.
para pasok swerte sa inyo.
Okay, so ayan, exactly yung pagkakagaya dun sa kung paano magsalita ang mga inchiks. Pag yan nakatira sa Binondo, so yun yung tinatawag natin na pidgin. So, yung kanyang Lopez, ano yung ginamit mo na language? Yung sa mga salita na ginamit mo, anong language yon?
Pilipino po.
Okay, Filipino. Magkaiba ba ang wika ng mga inchik at saka ng Filipino?
Opo, sir.
Okay, so pagdating sa pidgin, ang pinagsasama niya or pinaghahalo niya, ginagawa niya sa kanyang pagsasalita ay yung paano siya magsalita ng inchik since pagsalita ng inchik ay tao. Kung paano siya magsalita ng kung ano yung kinalakihan niya as inchik. So and then pagdating sa Pilipinas ay na-adapt niya ang paggamit ng wikang Filipino. So dahil sa nasa kumbaga ay native na sa kanya yung pagsasalita as inchik and then ginagamit niya yung Filipino, may mga pagkakataon na hindi ganong tama yung grammar ng pagdating sa pidgin sapagkat ito ay makeshift lamang. Kumbaga ay nagkakaroon ng konversasyon na kung saan pinaghahalo yung dalawang magkaiba na lengguwahe. So yung yung struktura, yung grammar na ginagamit niya ay Filipino, pero ang kanyang paraan ng pagsasalita ay pa-inchik. So yun yung meron dito sa pidgin na kahit na hindi tama yung grammar sa Filipino, pero pagdating sa discourse, naiintindihan pa rin natin yung kanyang sinasabi. So, yun yung context ng pidgin. Maliwanag ba yung explanation ko dito?
Opo.
Okay, so last pagdating sa ating variety ay ito, Creole. So, yung Creole ay isang
Okay, since this entire lesson is 51 minutes long, let us skip to the last part. In the last part of this lesson, the teacher explained the different tasks that the students will be doing after this synchronous discussion, and also the teacher asked the students if they have clarifications or questions about the lessons and the terminologies in the lessons, and some students raised their hands to ask some questions regarding the lesson, and the teacher provided elaboration and clarification in order for the students to uh, not be confused of the concepts that or the terminologies that they are asking about. And again, since this is a language lesson, because this is a Filipino class, I think the educational learning theories that I have chosen are again appropriate to be analyzed in this kind of lesson. And these educational learning theories again are cognitivism, and this is evident in this kind of lesson because in language learning, the teachers always consider that the students already have the language information systems, the cognitive structures for language learning and language production inside their brains. And so, as we help them through the processing of new information, again, this is a notion in the uh, cognitive learning theory. The second one is sociocultural learning because they are discussing variety of the language or variety ng wika in Filipino. The teacher and the students help each other so that they would have a discussion based on the culture of the students and also the teachers and their variations of the language because the teacher is not from San Pablo City, the teacher is from Batangas. Therefore, although the university, the school, LSPU, is in San Pablo City, Laguna, and the teacher is from Batangas, there are differences in the variations as to the teacher and the students. The majority of the students are from San Pablo City and they have different dialect or variation of the Tagalog language from the teacher. And so they use these differences of their schema and also their past experiences of the topic, and this uh, provided them a very enriched discussion. And again, this is a feature of or an evidence of social cultural learning theory. And the last one is constructivism, because in this particular lesson, the teacher rather solicited the students' schema or prior knowledge and used this to have the students relate to the current lesson being discussed. And so these three learning theories, again, are what I have observed from my co-teacher's online discussion. And this is the analysis considering the different educational learning theories presented in this lesson sample. And thank you for watching this presentation.